Good morning. Assalamu alaikum Kabul ho. Today we learn another important topic of database model and its types. A database model shows the logical structure of a database, including the relationships and constraints that determine how data can be stored and accessed. Individual database models are designed based on the rules and concepts of whichever broader data model the designers adopt.
Wow, great. Walaikum assalam. Can you tell me the different types of database models?
Jazakallah. Yes. There are many kinds of data models. Some of the most common ones include hierarchical database model, relational model, network model, object-oriented database model, entity relationship model, document model, entity attribute value model, star schema, the object relational model, which combines the two that make up its name.
Jazakallah. Let me explain a relational model. The most common model. The relational model sorts data into tables, also known as relations, each of which consists of columns and rows. Each column lists an attribute of the entity in question, such as price, zip code, or birth date. Together, the attributes in a relation are called a domain. A particular attribute or combination of attributes is chosen as a primary key that can be referred to in other tables, when it's called a foreign key. Each row, also called a tuple, includes data about a specific instance of the entity in question, such as a particular employee. The model also accounts for the types of relationships between those tables, including one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many relationships. Here's an example. Within the database, tables can be normalized, or brought to comply with normalization rules that make the database flexible, adaptable, and scalable. When normalized, each piece of data is atomic, or broken into the smallest useful pieces. Relational databases are typically written in structured query language, SQL. The model was introduced by E.F. Cott in 1970.
Jazakallah. Hierarchical model. The hierarchical model organizes data into a tree-like structure, where each record has a single parent or root. Sibling records are sorted in a particular order. That order is used as the physical order for storing the database. This model is good for describing many real-world relationships. This model was primarily used by IBM's information management systems in the 60s and 70s, but they are rarely seen today due to certain operational inefficiencies. Jazakallah. Network model. The network model builds on the hierarchical model by allowing many-to-many relationships between linked records, implying multiple parent records. Based on mathematical set theory, the model is constructed with sets of related records. Each set consists of one owner or parent record and one or more member or child records. A record can be a member or child in multiple sets, allowing this model to convey complex relationships. It was most popular in the 70s after it was formally defined by the Conference on Data Systems Languages, CODASIL. Jazakallah. Object-oriented database model. This model defines a database as a collection of objects, or reusable software elements, with associated features and methods. There are several kinds of object-oriented databases. A multimedia database incorporates media, such as images, that could not be stored in a relational database. A hypertext database allows any object to link to any other object. It's useful for organizing lots of disparate data, but it's not ideal for numerical analysis. The object-oriented database model is the best-known post-relational database model, since it incorporates tables, but isn't limited to tables. Such models are also known as hybrid database models. Jazakallah. Object-oriented model. This hybrid database model combines the simplicity of the relational model with some of the advanced functionality of the object-oriented database model. In essence, it allows designers to incorporate objects into the familiar table structure. Languages and call interfaces include SQL3, vendor languages, ODBC, JDBC, and proprietary call interfaces that are extensions of the languages and interfaces used by the relational model. Jazakallah. Entity relational model. This model captures the relationships between real-world entities much like the network model, but it isn't as directly tied to the physical structure of the database. Instead, it's often used for designing a database conceptually. Here, the people, places, and things about which data points are stored are referred to as entities, each of which has certain attributes that together make up their domain. The cardinality, or relationships between entities, are mapped as well. A common form of the ER diagram is the star schema, in which a central fact table connects to multiple dimensional tables.
Yazakala. Very effective and important information pertaining to the types of data model. Thank you very much for sharing information. Goodbye. God bless you all.